They all think they're these gurus. They're like, no, trust me, it's going to the moon.
What you just described was gaining 100,000 followers on a platform from March, April, May into June, 4 months. Please brag and share some numbers.
My highest month ever was like 37K. September 2020, I hit the $1 million earning mark.
Yeah, that's the true sign of an epic freelancer. It's not about the money, it's about the freedom and the life. This is Philip Van Nostrand, and you are listening to the Epic Freelance Life podcast. How to make more money and live an epic freelance life. All right. Hello, everybody. This is Phil Van Nostrand. I'm here to talk about how to live an epic freelance life. And I'm with someone that I've only just met like 5 minutes ago, although I've been following her on TikTok for a little while now, and I'm fascinated by this woman. So I'm here with Alex Fasulo. Alex, why don't you introduce yourself and kind of just say what it is you do? Because I thought it was just a writer, but you just told me that you are like a multi-hyphenate freelancer. So what are you about?
Thank you, Phil. Phil or Philip? I'll go with
Phil.
Okay. Thank you, Phil. Yeah, I am, I guess, a woman of many things over here, but I predominantly am a freelance writer on the site Fiverr.com. I also own just a generic like copywriting business that I use my Fiverr to help fulfill. And I am a podcast host as well for the Freelance Fairy Tales. So that's usually my short little summation.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing your podcast for?
I actually just started doing it about 2 months ago. I haven't even had any guests on or anything. It's just me like rambling every week.
Okay.
Freelancing topics. Yeah, because everyone keeps asking me. They're like, can you talk about this? Can you talk about that? And I'm like, sure.
This is so good. So you already have an audience from your Instagram or TikTok stuff?
Yeah, like that, that's my advantage. Like I have followings on Instagram, TikTok, and my Facebook group. So I basically made the podcast for them.
You're so good. I have way too many questions for you already. One, if you ever do need a guest on the show, let me know. I've been a freelance photographer for over 13 years, and I'm kicking ass in New York with it. I love it. I love this kind of talk. So I will definitely have to start listening to your podcast, though, and I'll make sure to include all your info in the notes and stuff at the end.
Okay, cool.
Let's just talk real quick, just some numbers so people get a sense of like who you are and what you're about. Like, do you know right now how many followers you have on TikTok?
I think it's I have 237K I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you remember where you were when you hit 100,000 followers?
I believe it was in June of last year. So I started it in like March of last year, and I was on a road trip in North Carolina. I don't remember when, but I remember I was traveling.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So to me, just so the audience knows, I think a lot of people wrote off TikTok as being like a dancing thing or for kids or whatever. But if you don't know by now, I don't even need to explain it anymore. TikTok is so much more than all of that. And what you just described was gaining 100,000 followers on a platform from March, April, May into June, 4 months, right?
Yeah, it was something crazy like that.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
And were you getting jobs because of people watching your TikTok? Like, did people actually seek you out, and did you make money from people like finding you on TikTok?
So the TikTok audience is definitely younger, and that is why a lot of people write it off. But I think that's really silly of them to do, because I use TikTok to sell my like passive income products. So I get online course sales and ebook sales like all day long on my TikTok. That's why I love it, because it's like augmented like another part of my business.
Yeah, I get it. So, but did you have that stuff before you started TikTok, or did you like once you started getting a lot of followers, you're like, oh, I should have something to offer because there's people who are interested in what I'm saying? Like, which came first?
It's funny you say that. Yeah, I had the ebooks all set from the first CNBC article in 2018, because all these people were pouring in, and I had nothing to sell them, and I felt like so silly. So I had the ebooks, but yeah, I actually recorded my first online courses in June of last year as well. I flew to Utah to do that because the TikTok following was growing so quickly. I was like, okay, I need to take this more seriously here. I should be offering something to these people. And
Yeah, that's amazing.
yeah, it was great.
And I know you talk a lot. Gosh, there's so many ways I can go with this. I know you talk a lot about numbers on TikTok. Do you ever share numbers like how much you're making through online courses and stuff,
So
ebooks?
I definitely plan to, but I've kept it hidden only because I've only been
Hmm.
selling it since November. So I've been kind of wanting to just do it for a year to
Okay.
be able to like honestly share with people, what it does and doesn't do for me. So I'm keeping it
Okay.
secret for now, but definitely stay tuned on that one.
Okay. I'm gonna just ask an annoying follow up question. Is it enough to like pay your bills?
Yes, I can confirm, yes, and I'm actually splitting it. I actually split it 50-50 with, the
Oh,
team who makes them and markets them for me. So even
cool.
even through splitting it 50-50, yes, it can still, pay the bills, which is, incredible.
Alex, I think you're so incredible. And so this is why you flew to Utah was to because that's where this like e-commerce building company resides. Is that right?
Yeah, well, so it's actually, like, the head of it is Josh Rossi.
Hmm.
He's like actually pretty famous if you Google him. He's done a ton of
Yeah.
stuff. He's an amazing photo editor and everything. And
Okay.
he found me on TikTok. So TikTok
Oh,
I
he.
have to thank for this
Wow.
because that's how he was able to find me. And that's why I love TikTok because I feel like the searchability on there is so much better than an Instagram where,
Yeah.
it's so hard to find people on those apps, but on TikTok it's so easy. So that's how he found me. I flew out
Cool.
there and it was actually the best thing ever because he's like become my like business partner. He's great. So I'm so happy he
That's
found me.
so cool.
Yeah.
And he does all the hard work that's like annoying, like recording, promoting, probably uploading all that stuff, and you get to like share your knowledge, and he makes money off of that, and you
Yeah,
make money off
it's
of that.
exactly. It's like a perfect partnership and
That's
we yeah,
beautiful.
like we call each other all the time. We're great. We have like we're almost like the same person. It's funny when you hear us on the
Yeah.
phone. We're like, "No, what about this? What about this?" And it's like crazy.
Okay, cool. That's so good. I'm really happy you found that because I feel like in the world of marketing and stuff, there's a lot of real duds out there. So it's amazing that you found something that worked at the first try.
Oh yeah.
Because I know that there's a lot of like not scammy type people offering stuff, but just things that are like less than 100%, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I definitely it's hard because there have been people who have abused the online course world, naturally,
Yeah.
there's people who wreck everything, but it's
Yes.
just annoying because those, few people who went out there and scammed people, I get a lot of hate for the online courses. They're like, "Oh, look, she's selling a course." Like, people
uh
hate it because, of the few people who ruined it for
yeah.
everyone, which I'm
Or they think you're trying to just make money. Yeah, there's a lot. We're going to talk about this too actually. I want to talk hold this thought, but later on, I want to know how you deal with haters on TikTok because
oh
it's
my
a real
god.
thing. But we're gonna talk about. So we haven't even talked about the real thing. One, Do you ever share how old you are?
Yeah, oh, I'm 28.
Okay, cool. So under 30, and what are you most proud of in terms of like what you've accomplished on Fiverr and your career so far?
Um,
Please brag and share some numbers.
I mean, I guess, I would have to mention in September 2020, I hit the $1 million earning mark. And that was after Fiverr took out their 20%. 'Cause people are always like,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, Fiverr
So
took the 20%. I'm like, no, 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 that's after, which should tell you I actually probably hit it earlier in the year. Um,
yeah, 20% means that you made a million like yeah, probably months before. I mean,
yeah.
you basically earned 1,200,000 is what you're saying, or whatever that is, 1,500,000
Something
something. Yeah.
something like that,
Um,
yeah, but that was absolutely a crazy moment for me because I was like,
I
"What
love
the heck?"
that.
Yeah.
And and so you make most of your money on Fiverr, um, and a million wasn't like in a month, or it was like total, right? Like a cumulative
Yes,
earnings. Yeah.
yes, yes, yes.
And And you also share like about how much you pull per month though, right? Can you share that with the audience who
Yeah,
doesn't know you?
it
Yeah.
fluctuates, like, my highest month ever, which is crazy, was, like, 37K from freelance
Nice.
writing is obviously nuts, but then, then there's months when it will go down to, like, 22 or 23K, which is obviously still a ton of money. So it
Yeah.
fluctuates, it fluctuates,
But
it's yeah.
so you're averaging, I mean, you're gonna do a minimum, of like 20,000 a month. probably.
Yes, I could say that.
Yeah.
And that's with my Fiverr, yeah, and I'm working on creating different streams now even off of there and kind of like building this into its own business.
Alex, you're crazy. So, but like, what do you do with all that money? I literally, like, I know you don't live like a Wall Street bro in like a penthouse in New York. So, like, what are you doing? Because I bet I'm willing to guess that your expenses are like $5,000 a month or something or less. So, like, what do you do with all the extra 15 grand a month or whatever?
Um, that's so it's funny when I get asked this because I never know how to answer it. So when I
This is a
started,
question for all the young people who are going to get into money and need to know how to
yeah,
like manage it because I'm sure you do. I'm sure you're smart about it. I'm asking you this for very specific reasons.
sure.
Yeah.
So in 2018, which is when it started to become like crazy income, I guess panic saved it for like a year and a
Yeah.
half. I did nothing but just like let it sit in my bank account because I didn't even know like what was going on. It is a lot of money, so it was almost
You
shocking.
should have bought one Bitcoin and you would have been doing just
I
great.
know. I'm like so I get like the whole freaking crypto world annoys me. Like all
I'm
these
just
people,
I
I
know.
know they all think they're these gurus. They're like, no, trust me, it's going to the moon. I'm like, you don't know that. Like, come
All right.
on.
So I interrupted you.
Yeah.
Please continue. I'm sorry.
So I saved it for like 2 years. I did nothing with it because as a freelancer or an entrepreneur, there's always that feeling in the back of your head of this could stop, this could end.
Yeah.
I could wake up tomorrow and it's done. It's not a salary and it's not a job at a company. Not that that's even reliable anymore. But I was like, I'm going to just save this so that should I get, kicked off of a Fiverr or something, I have a
Yeah.
lot of money saved and I can take my time to figure out what I want to do next. So it
Yeah.
really wasn't until 2020 last year when I started doing things with it because I was like, okay, I this has become kind of sustainable. I can kind of count on this type of money every
Yeah.
year. So that's when I put a lot of it into retirement. I put it into like a SEP and an IRA. I put some of it into the
Nice.
stock market. I started doing some boring investing stuff with it, but then I started doing some fun things with it. So everyone knows I bought the Jeep Wrangler. I've since bought
Okay.
a house. I'm in my house now, and
Wait, where are you right now again?
I am in Southwest Florida, like outside of Fort Myers.
Oh, okay, got it, got it. And
Uh,
why Southwest Florida? Because you were in Brooklyn for like 6 years, you said, or
yeah.
7 years, right?
Well, so I always wanted to leave New York City at the end of 2020 for tax reasons. Naturally, I
Oh,
was like, I'm sick
yeah.
of paying New York State tax if I don't have to. So I was
Got it.
eyeballing like a Florida or a Texas or Nevada or whatever. And it just kind of came together where like my sister wanted to move to Miami to do swimsuit stuff. My mom wanted to move to Florida. And we all were like, let's all just move to Florida. So like the whole family can just move together. And that
This
was
is
kind of, yeah,
amazing.
like that. There wasn't really any like big planning with it. But I mean, I love Southwest Florida because it's quieter than the East Coast. And I feel like after 6 years in New York, I'm kind of like overstimulated with everything.
Yeah.
So it's quiet here. I feel like very focused on my work. It's a different pace of life, and
Yeah.
it's great. And there's beaches and stuff. So I am happy as can be. But yeah, those are the two big things that like I put my money into. Then the other thing is this year, I'm finally like I'm growing these different businesses, which cost money to hire help.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely putting a lot of money into my businesses this year. It's kind of like a
Good.
holding year. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would think for you, like, well, one, you seem pretty savvy, and I'm guessing that you either listen to a lot of podcasts or read some like really good business books. Am I wrong?
I read a lot. I actually am not a podcast person because I
Okay,
don't
got it.
learn by hearing. So I read a ton, and
Yeah.
I have an advantage being a freelance writer in that every single day I'm learning about these new businesses to write about them for clients. So I end up knowing like all sorts of random things just because I have to.
Got it. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So that's good. Well, I mean, one of the things I think that you would want to be doing with your money is like making your money work for itself. Like,
Yes.
and the Jeep was definitely like just a luxury purchase because that Jeep's probably started losing money the moment you bought it,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
maybe the house is an investment, but I don't know that you bought it for that reason. But moving to Florida was like, I'm curious what if you're like, I don't know. I guess you're investing in yourself with by hiring people and like building out the company a little bit. Is that how you're like seeing it or viewing
Yeah,
it?
and I have like a bunch of different like experimental money things going on right now.
Okay,
I have
got
like a
it.
drop shipping business that I keep hidden, and I have
What the heck?
like I am totally investing in myself and my businesses right now. And yeah, the house,
Yeah.
I would like to never sell the house, but it was absolutely purchased with the idea of an investment. And since it is on a canal, it's on water, it is
Oh,
100% gonna appreciate in value.
that's
Yeah.
incredible.
So the house
So
is definitely an investment. Yeah.
I love that. So many questions. So I guess I should know this, and I told you I didn't want to talk too much about your origin story. But how long have you been working on Fiverr now?
Since January 2015, so long
Okay.
time.
Well, maybe not for like us old folks, but so 6 years is pretty good.
Yeah.
I always said I have this theory about freelance, and that like it really takes. I think you're maybe an exception to this rule, but it to me it takes about 5 years before freelancers really hit their stride. And for you, that would be like, I guess you probably hit your stride a couple of years into it, like 2018. That would be 3 years, but like by 5 years, you know what you're about. You are established, like you're speaking with authority. All of it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
does it feel like you have phases of your freelance career, or are you just kind of like hanging on for a wild
I
ride?
would say you're right. No, it's definitely, I always say to people, it's a very long term success
Yeah,
plan. It took me about 3 years to hit, really good, like six-figure money. Not to say I
yeah,
wasn't still like earning a very decent, livable wage, like even before that. But I'd say the 3 year mark is when I started to make like really good money. And then the
mm,
5 year mark is when I started to, I think, be seen as an authority in the space. So
yeah.
now in my 6th year, I am, looking to more so move into like that authority type of role than just being the freelance writer. Because I feel like I've earned it heading into my 7th year, maybe.
1,000% you've earned it. I mean,
Yeah.
like, what's your TikTok called again?
It's called Alex Fasulo Biz with a Z.
Okay, Alex Fasulo Biz. I'll
Yeah.
add that in the notes. But yeah, if anybody looks at any of your TikToks, they're inspiring and they're really cool. Like you really share how easy it is to start.
Yeah.
I don't know, start an account on Fiverr and start making money tomorrow. And I've seen some of the testimonials from people. They're like, "Thank you, I just made my first like $1,300 or
Yeah.
whatever." And so you're actually changing lives out there, which is really cool. Um,
It's insane. Like I all of this every part of this journey has been so unpredictable and blows my
yeah,
mind. Like I never thought that I was sitting on like such, helpful information until I started sharing it. And that's why I'm so like
or
passionate about telling people to share their information because you have no idea how it's going to
yeah.
impact someone else. You have no idea.
Yeah, everybody is living an interesting. I mean, a lot of people are living an interesting life that like others really don't know about. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, it's what's the title of your podcast again? I think this explains it.
It's called the Freelance Fairy Tales.
Yeah, exactly. I think
Yeah.
that's so cool. So my question for you now is like, you've already had success. Like, why do you what's your drive coming from? Like, why would you even have a drop shipping company? Why would you even need a like an educational thing? Why do you need more? And this is not a judgmental question. I'm just curious, like what drives you?
Um,
Um,
so
yeah.
I think it's just the natural progression of I have not had a single day off in 6 years. And
Okay.
I have worked so hard every single day for all of this that not that I'm burnt out, but I think it's just a natural progression of working smarter and not harder. So I'm like, this is so great.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful for this money I've made and the platform it's given me. But I would now like to, foray more into how can I earn even if it's only half of what I'm making now, that's fine. I've never been in
Of
this for the money. Like
course.
I don't care. So it's like even if I scale it back to half of what I'm earning now, but I get
Yeah.
to have all this free time back to myself to travel, then it's worth it
Yeah.
for me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the true sign of an epic freelancer. It's not about the money, it's
Yeah,
about the freedom and the life.
exactly.
So, okay, so interesting. Do you feel like you are living an epic freelance life or not?
I definitely feel that
Be
I am.
honest.
No, I definitely feel that I am. Like it has been a crazy roller coaster ride, all of this from the press to the hate to the people
Mhm.
messaging me that like they used my videos and they were able to escape like abusive relationships and become financially
Whoa.
independent. It's all if I could use a word, it's all been very heavy, but
Yeah.
it's been epic. Epic is certainly what it's been too. Like it's
That's
a lot of
cool.
things. Yeah.
So, haven't you ever like wanted to like knowing that you can do your job from your laptop kind of anywhere? Like, why aren't you in Cancun right now or like Bali or something like doing what you do?
Two reasons
Like
right
why
now.
Florida?
Well, mainly because of COVID, is why I'm not
Oh,
leaving the country, It's like I've seen those stories of people who aren't able to kinda, like, get back in because 'cause they've tested positive in a
I
foreign
see.
country, and they get, like that's, like, my worst nightmare being a, like, nomadic person is being trapped somewhere, that's, like, my
Oh, that's
fear.
really interesting.
Yeah,
I never
so
imagined that I would be trapped like if I went somewhere else. I always figured like there's always a way back or you know what I mean? Like you don't have COVID forever. So like even if you're because I feel like you could just station somewhere for like 3 months and it wouldn't be a problem.
yeah, I guess it's
Yeah.
like I don't know though, because so much of this stuff changes every day that it's like,
Sure.
what if the test did say I was positive like every month for 6 months, and then like
Ah,
all of a sudden, I got trapped and I missed like it's like I have a
Alex,
cat.
that's a very funny and specific fear.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna say. Um, and I feel like the odds of that happening are very, very low. But I will not judge you for your fears. You can do whatever you want to do. But so are you saying if it wasn't a COVID time, would you be traveling more or no?
yes, I would definitely be traveling abroad more. Because before
Yeah.
COVID, I did like a month in Japan and everything. But
Oh,
if you
that's
follow my
exactly what I'm talking
stuff,
about. Yeah.
well, I'm still traveling a ton just domestically, and I'm actually really enjoying just getting to know our country. So it's like
Cool.
I don't feel like I'm missing out at all. Like, because I'm like this summer, even I'm planning to go on like a 6 week road trip around the US. I've always wanted to do that. So
I love
I,
this.
I definitely like haven't put my traveling, to the side. I've just put the abroad traveling to the side.
Okay, okay. Totally makes sense. I love that. And that yeah, that really makes sense to me. So you are exercising your freedom as like a
Oh
freelancer.
yeah,
Like
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. So we talked earlier about this thing. I am also on TikTok. My videos are extremely boring, and do not have 200,000 followers. But I've had a couple of videos hit like 1 million views,
Yeah.
and and I wasn't prepared for getting hooked on like the trolls. And I really thought like as a grown ass adult that I would like that I'm fine. I like what I do. I understand why I live in the Lower East Side in my apartment, blah, blah, blah. But the moment people started being like, this fool like travels more than he lives in New York and he's wasting money on his rent or whatever. I got so triggered. How do you deal? And I had to like I literally like talked about this with my friends and like created boundaries for myself. Like how do you deal with the hate? Because I know you get it pretty
Oh.
hard on TikTok.
Yeah, it's funny, you catch me at a time where I'm definitely kind of reworking my exposure to it because it's become too
Oh,
much for me to, I think firsthand be seeing every day. And I think it's
yeah.
a
It,
natural thing that happens to anyone who puts themselves out there online and starts to get a following. So
yeah.
I used to read it. I try not to take it personally. Sometimes my defense mechanism is I fire out snarky things back at the people just for fun.
Uh,
That never ends well though, because then people are
nope.
like, "You're so rude," and I'm like, "Bro, he attacked me first. Like, how am I the rude one here?" So I used to like
yeah.
have some fun with it. I'd make funny videos, but it's getting to a point where I'm actually
Yeah.
trying to shelter myself from it because it's
Yeah.
a lot. And I think, moving forward, if my brand continues to grow, I probably will be looking to get some like PR company or like a publicist help maybe
Yeah.
and have them kind of, not protect me from it, but like interact with it so I don't have
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
totally. You're really smart. I often think about like, if you know TikTok at all, then you know the name Charlie D'Amelio.
Yeah.
Like I think she's received it worse than like anybody else in the world.
Yeah.
And like I see comments daily, not even on her page, like other people being like, Charlie D'Amelio barely dances and look like why don't you get they're always like slamming her as if they like I don't know,
Yeah.
it's bullshit. But
It is.
I found my one thing that I realized was like, no matter what someone else says, if I don't say anything, someone else will fight for me.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
and I actually have a friend, like a good friend of mine, who like we have an agreement. Like if someone starts trolling our page, like we'll go to bat for each other. So like I'll defend him in his comment section, and he'll defend in mine. um,
I love that, and you know what? My family, we do
yeah,
that. Me, my mom, and my sister. If
yeah,
somebody's like attacking my sister, I'll go like rip them to shreds because it's easier
yeah,
when
because
it's
it doesn't
someone else.
totally easier,
Yeah.
and it doesn't matter. I love
No.
that. But I found too, if you just wait long enough, like your fans will back you up and they will do the battle for you, and you don't even have to, and then it takes all like the punch out of it, you know? It's
Yeah, that's true. That's a good
yeah.
point. That's like my
But
little
but
yeah.
but you're right. I think at some point you probably will just not need to look at your comments. I know that like for actors and like writers, I have an author friend. She's written like 4 best-selling New York Times books. She's like, I don't ever read any reviews. Like I post something on Twitter and I never look at it again.
Yeah.
She's like, it will destroy her. So her number one rule is that she doesn't read a single review of anything. She literally looks at no comments, which is so hardcore, but she's found that that's been her like best protection
I
mechanism.
mean, it's like, what do you gain from reading that stuff? Honestly, if
Nothing.
anything,
But but
it like, yeah,
but then you lose, and I was like, but you lose like the good comments, and she was like, what do I really care about the good? You know what I mean? Like I don't care if like some person I don't know likes me, like that it's fine. But so I
yeah,
thought it was so interesting. I thought like one solution for TikTok would be you don't ever look at your comments, but if there are nice stuff, your sister can vet it and she could read them out loud to you or whatever.
I know.
You know what? Like something like that where there's a screening process at least, so you don't have to see like the hate and you just get to kind of live with the good stuff. I don't know. I think there's solutions, but you're right. It might be like a company that like manages it after a while.
Yeah, I definitely think I'm heading in that direction, like for my mental health.
But I know, and I'm so sorry. So why do you think people like throw hate in your direction? And what do you like? I know you can rationally explain it. So what do you think that is?
I think it's a multitude of things, and people have heard me say this, and I said it in the CNBC video. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
see the comments, and it's 90% from men. So I think in my
Oh,
case, I think it angers men to see a young woman making
yeah.
a lot of money, and I'm not saying all men. I love men are great. Like I'm not hating on men. I'm just
Sure.
saying they happen to be my haters are men. It's not women.
Yeah.
Women get on there and they're like, get it, girl. Like, yes, boss. Yes, queen. Like like we
Yeah.
have a wealthy queen. There because women. I think it comes down to societally. I've thought about this at length. Women are pitted
Sure.
against each other for looks and appearance and all that
Mm.
stuff. Unfortunately, men are pitted against each other for success and drive and money.
Yeah.
So when I'm out here, flaunting money, men feel directly attacked by it, whereas women don't care. They're super supportive of me. But then I'll see, like, on my sister's stuff, my sister's a
Uh,
fitness model. Her haters, a lot of the time, will be women saying, like, you're ugly or whatever, because that directly offended women. So it's like
whoa.
my stuff offends guys. And I think it makes them feel less
Yeah.
than a man because I made more money than them and society deems their value based on the money they make. I think that's like what it taps into.
You totally just gave me goosebumps. I think you're 100% right. That's so crazy. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Men feel, and it makes them, for whatever reason, like whatever you post all of a sudden becomes about them, and if they
totally.
feel like you got a shortcut or like it's because you're pretty or whatever, they
Yeah.
try to explain it away that instead of just like your hard work for the last like
Yeah,
6
and
years.
that's all hate
Yeah.
online. I always tell people that, and it's obviously easier said
Yeah.
than done. But when someone's hating, like they're projecting, it's really not you they're hating. It's whatever you represent. And I understand that. But still, there are times when it will catch up with me and I'll still be like, ow.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course. Well, because and you're I mean, you said you've been working for a long time, but you're still young, you know, like
right.
I think it's like probably forcing you to grow up in weird ways. Like it'd
Oh,
be good for you to
totally.
start seeing a therapist soon if you're not already,
Yeah.
you know. Um,
Oh, I mean, sometimes I joke. I saw a meme the other day or something that it was like an entrepreneur will work every day for 40 years and start like 14 businesses to avoid going to see a therapist.
oh, that's really funny.
And it made me laugh.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
So I guess where have you been recently, and where are you going next in the world? You mentioned a couple road trips and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, so last week I was in Las Vegas. This next month I'm going to be in Florida. I'm actually going to explore Florida a little bit. I'm going to go see St.
Oh, cool.
Augustine one weekend. And then I'm actually going to a little mini music festival in Miami at the end of April, which I'm really excited
Oh,
about.
fun.
And
I
then
guess
let's
is that
see.
like the first? Are you a festival girl or what?
Oh my god, I that's been the worst part of COVID for me is the hit on music festivals. I've been dying, absolutely dying.
Uh,
Um, Yeah, no, then in May, I'm probably gonna have to fly back to Utah to meet with my online course team again. And
Okay.
then probably at the end of June, I'm going to Michigan to go stay at a co-living space. They're having me come there and like post about it. I'm really excited in Ann Arbor. Um,
Cool.
really pumped. Yeah, and then this summer, I'd like to go out for like 2 months, even when it's really hot here in Florida, take my cat, take my best friend, and hit the road and see our entire country. And I would love nothing more than to do
This is so great. I love your life so much.
that.
So the Michigan thing is like an influencer's visit. They invited you just to stay and like post it on Instagram or whatever?
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
say it's definitely half influencer, but they're brand new, so I think they also just want me to come and like give feedback just to help them
Oh, cool.
marketing and stuff. Yeah, like a half, like a trade almost.
That's amazing.
I'm
So
pumped.
get a sense that you have like a little bit of like a giving and like a mentoring aspect to you. Do you feel like you have a mission or a purpose in your life, and are you like aiming towards that? Do you know what I mean when
Oh
I
man,
ask
Phil,
that?
I feel like you just like dove into my soul and exposed it. So I'm like,
Good.
uh, yes, yes, I am definitely a mankind humanitarian type of person who definitely
Yeah.
feels a responsibility every day to help people and I have ever since I was little. I feel that both my happiness and just functioning and whatever is best achieved when I volunteer and help people. It's a two-way street.
Mm.
It's like I feel better and I've helped people. So why not,
I love that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think yours and mine is similar. I would say that my mission in the world is to inspire others,
Yeah.
and I do that through photography, but also some coaching and like leading groups and stuff, and
That's
like even this
awesome.
podcast. Like I want people to listen to this and feel inspired. And it sounds like yours is, you said, humanitarian, like giving back,
Yeah.
making the world better.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah. I mean, well, that's awesome that you do that. It's like people will ask me, like, why do you care? Why do you help? And I don't have an answer
yeah,
for that because it's like part of me, I guess. I don't know. It's like I didn't wake up one day and say like I'm going to be the defender of mankind, even though it is funny.
sure.
That's what my name means. Um,
Oh, that's awesome.
which
Yeah, yeah,
I was named well. I was named well, but it's just always been a part of me. I don't know how to be any other way. So call it my divine purpose, I guess, because it's definitely
sure.
innate to me.
Yeah, and I love that because then I think like the way you said it before, you could have like half of your income. It's not about the money, right? Like
No.
when you are, so I'm getting that you derive like a big sense of pleasure by posting on TikTok and inspiring others or helping people, gain their own freedoms or starts.
Yeah,
And by like interacting with people who have questions, and that's why you started the podcast and stuff. So I hope that
exactly.
like yeah, I hope that you dive deeper and deeper into or like lean more into that, and even I'm sure you're being asked to do some coaching or like private mentoring and stuff too, and I could see you being really really good at that.
Yeah, I have so many amazing opportunities to do all of that stuff right now, and it's actually more so
Yeah.
become like, where is my time best used, and I
Exactly.
how can I help as many people as possible with 1 hour? So it's
Yeah, I love that.
yeah,
Oh,
like,
that makes sense. That's really smart.
yeah, and like I also post about this a lot on my Instagram too, where I'll sometimes get hate from people where they're like, "She's not really trying to help people; she's just trying to turn a profit." And
Oh
I'll
yeah.
post about it a lot, where I'm like, I don't know where in all of our upbringing we're taught that
Yeah.
you can't both help people and make money at the same time. I don't know why those two have to be separate in people's eyes, because it's like I think it's fair that I charge whatever, I think it's like $47 for my online courses because I put a lot of time into them. So
Yeah.
it's like why I don't see a problem in that I charge for those, but then I also have, 4 free ebooks. I post for free on social media. So it's like I always say to people,
Yeah.
we need to like rewire our brains into seeing it as a bad thing that you can help people and also earn a living. I don't know why people they
Yes.
think you have to be like starving to help people. And I'm like, why?
No, they just don't know, and it's people who don't make money, obviously, who are saying that.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
I what I'm about to say, you can reject or take it, but you could definitely be charging $199 for your courses or $1,000 for your courses, and you'd probably do just fine.
I know, but you know what? Here's my thing. I actually just talked to my team last week, and this spring we're going to film a $1,000 course that's going to be worth every penny of it. But for
There you
now,
go.
for now, I'm very familiar with my people who follow me and come to me for help, and all of
Sure.
them are in tight financial situations because they just got let go,
All
they
right.
got quit. So none of them, these people that I'm working with, are in a great financial place. So it's like I don't want to take, like I don't want to take their money. Like that's not how I want to make my money. Is like profiting from people who are in a bad place. So
Oh,
it's like
see, for all those listening, Alex is a saint. You've heard it here first.
I'm
But
definitely not a saint. I'm definitely not a saint. If you read my comebacks to haters on my TikTok,
oh, geez.
you'll be like,
I,
ooh.
I'll, I'm gonna dive into TikTok after this,
Yeah.
but Alex, like I know for a fact, I don't even know what your courses are, and I already know that whatever's in them, you probably help people earn $100 within like a week or less.
Oh,
Am I
for
wrong?
sure. For sure.
Do you help people earn like $1,000 within a month or so?
I mean, if they actually follow everything that I put in those courses, like
Yeah.
if they listen to me, absolutely, they can make $1,000 a
Then then your course is worth $1,000. You know what I mean?
month.
Like it's worth anything. It's
I
literally worth all of that.
know. No, I
And
know.
yeah, I don't know. You're just there's something there too. Like I know you want to help the masses, and that's fine. So you might as well just do it for free then, because what's $47? But like
Yeah.
otherwise, yeah. I wonder too if there's something about how you value yourself there. But I know you know how to value yourself, so
No,
I'm just
I
curious.
mean, hey, I promise you, come this fall, I'll disclose some of the money I'm making even at the $47 mark because I'm
Okay,
making
okay.
quite good money with it. So I'm
So
super happy.
no, that's
I
good. You probably actually know more about it than I do. So
No, no,
I'm just
no,
challenging you.
no, you're
I
right
always
though. You're right
yeah.
with the like. I absolutely do have value. I could be selling for 1,000, but that's where I actually like just talked to my team about this, and they agreed. And we have this idea of like an angle to it where it would be
Cool.
absolutely worth 1,000, and it would be targeting someone who is coming in a better financial situation, so then I wouldn't
Yeah.
feel bad. Yeah,
That's nice. Then you really like capture all audiences, which is
exactly.
lovely.
That's the goal. Yeah,
Yeah. I like that.
yeah.
You're so smart. So you mentioned before though that you haven't taken a single day off in 6 years. Like what would happen if you took a day off?
Um, my businesses suffer, and that's the sign of a business that needs to be structured better. I mean, I'm reading the 4 Hour Work
Yeah.
Week right now, and he would yell at me.
Yep.
So, um,
I that was one of my first I read that book 11 years ago and it totally changed my life.
yeah, I get it. It's
Yeah.
it's a genius book. He's a genius. It's funny because I am just now reading it, and I've been living my life like 75% according to how he says to live it anyway, and I went ahead and did it
Yep.
on my own, which is funny. But the other
Yeah.
25% that I'm learning from him is that that's my goal this year. It's like when if I don't write, then the work. Well, I work with some writers now, but if I don't check into my business every day, then the
Yeah.
orders weren't sent out and they weren't managed and they weren't checked over.
No,
And
I
the
get it. I get it.
customers on
Yeah.
Fiverr weren't answered. So it's like that pressure of the last 6 years, I am starting to want to move away from. And I want to be able to spend an entire day on a hike with no service on my cell phone and come
Mhm.
back the next day and not have had someone on Fiverr say, like, you didn't answer me for a day. Where the hell did you go? It's like that I'm sick of.
Alex, you could solve that problem like tomorrow. Why don't you have like I know a guy who's got like a virtual Filipino assistant that like takes care of every one of his emails, like
So I do
I,
have them actually. I have Filipino
okay.
virtual assistants, but here's the
Yeah,
problem with
this
Fiverr.
is amazing.
Fiverr is not my company. They own their own company. They have
I
terms
know.
and services and rules, and like it is not. It's
Oh.
like if they catch me doing that, they could kick me off. So the whole problem
Yeah,
is
I
that
get it. I get it.
I'm using a third party platform. That's the problem here, and that's
Yeah,
why.
I was
Yeah.
just gonna ask you. I know that you are going to be making moves to get off of that soon. You have to be,
100%.
right?
That's I've
Yeah.
been very vocal about it. They've, I'm sure, read me writing about it. So if they, don't
Yeah.
like that, then that's whatever. But I'm,
No, but
I'm this year, yes, I want to get my own clients by myself who my VAs
yeah.
can respond on my behalf, and then I can go on that hike. So there's the light at the end of the tunnel is coming.
I totally see it. Well, and I'm guessing because this happened to me in photography. I used to shoot apartments for Airbnb, and I
Oh,
got
nice.
paid $60 apartment, and I could do it in like 12 minutes if the apartment was clean. And I shot like apartments all day, every day in New York. But then I found some people who managed like 10 apartments, and they wanted to get me outside of Airbnb, and they're like, "Can you just drive around with us and shoot apartments and give us some couple more photos?" And I was like,
Yeah,
yeah. And I was able to charge double than what I was getting paid for Airbnb, and they were happy. And I could
exactly.
totally, I'm sure this is happening to you. You must have like found clients that have like asked for your services outside, like
Oh,
that
yeah.
came to you from Fiverr, but like wanted you outside of Fiverr.
Oh, 100%. I mean, if
Yeah.
anything, I've discovered partnering up with like a PR firms is my ideal client because then
Yep.
they have like
Yep.
100 articles they need every week, and then boom,
Yeah.
like that's the only person I have to talk to. That's the end game.
And it's good money. You have
Pretty
to be
much.
like, it's so amazing to me that you actually have made as much money as you have on Fiverr, because everybody thinks of Fiverr as kind of like low hanging fruit. Like you making
Yeah.
$1 million at like $5 an article or whatever. But
No, I mean, thank God it's $100 an article now. Thank
I know.
God, but yeah.
But there's a world where you could be charging $200 an article outside of Fiverr, or 400 or whatever, right? Like,
Oh, for sure, for sure.
yeah. So you know that, and I think there's nothing actually wrong with what you did. You really like, you had easy clients from the beginning, which is what Fiverr offers, and and you really like honed your skills because you just did the same thing over and over again for like 10,000 hours, basically.
Yeah,
Uh,
no, I definitely beat it
yeah.
like a dead horse. Like it's been beat.
Yeah, sure. But this is so beautiful because now that you have the system and like the mechanics in place, like you know exactly what it takes to scale this thing, right? And
100%.
hopefully not be in the way anymore of your own
Yeah,
success.
no, I'm like super excited about this year. Like this is going to be like a really pivotal year for my stuff and I love change. Like I'm pumped.
Yeah. This is so exciting. I got to interview you in 1 year and be like, "So, how's the like multi-millions doing?"
Oh my
Um
god, right? That'd be funny. Yes.
I'm sure. It sounds like you've got a lot of really great things in place for yourself. I'm really proud of you and I'm
Yeah.
impressed. Yeah.
Hey, thank you. I mean, it's all kind of been a dream. Like, I mean, it's all been. There's some days I wake up and I still can't believe a lot of it. So when people are like, "Oh, you're gonna make 1 million this year," I'm like, I guess maybe I'm gonna try. Like
Well,
we'll
you will
see.
in you'll do it in 5 months if you're pulling 20, oh, 1,000,000 this year. Sorry, I was thinking 100,000. Ooh,
Yeah,
that's a
I
good.
mean,
All right, that'll be like the next marker, right? Not
it
yeah, yeah,
is.
yeah. This is good.
That is my next
A million
marker.
a million in a year. Hmm.
Yeah, that's it.
Wait,
It is.
what is your next marker? Is it that or something else? I interrupted.
Um,
Yeah.
I mean, money is a good. I look at money as such a like just third party, unemotional item that I use to just
Sure.
judge my productivity and success. So basically, I'm like, well, if I can make 400K in 1 year, well, my next goal naturally is going to be to see if I can make 1 million because
Yeah.
that's how I judge my success. So
Yeah, it's a great goal. Yeah.
yeah, so we'll see. I mean, if I do it this year, I don't know. Maybe next year though. We'll see.
There's another book I really want you to read, Alex, after 4 Hour Work Week. It's called Company of One.
Okay, I'm writing this
Um,
down right now.
yeah, it's made for you. It's basically like a guy who came from kind of startup tech, San Francisco world, and saw all these companies burn out or spend like millions of dollars trying to like scale super fast, or like scale super fast, but then not have the infrastructure to like sustain it.
Okay.
And his whole theory is basically, how do you as like an individual or like a tiny company, scale sustainably and live, your goal might not be a million anymore, it might be like 100 days off. Your
Yeah,
goal, instead of saying like I want like endless clients, it's like I only want 50 clients a year, and that makes me $1 million. That it's like it's almost like a reverse way of thinking. Like I don't want I don't want to shoot 100 weddings in a year at $3,000 a pop. That's like insane, and I get gray hair. I'd rather shoot 5 weddings at $20,000.
yeah,
And so it's something like that, or 10 weddings or whatever. It's that same idea that like that growing sustainably like feeds the soul and the pockets as well. So it's a good one.
I'm
I
I'm
think you'll
like
really like it.
yeah, I'm diving way more into doing one of my goals this year is to read more. So anytime someone gives me a book recommendation, I literally write it down and buy it. So done. Consider it done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good. And it's made for you. Actually, like every phase of what you're doing right now is exactly in that book. So I
It's
think
not,
you'll
no, I'm
appreciate it a
excited.
lot.
I'm literally gonna go order it like right
Yeah.
now.
Yay. So I guess I'm gonna start to finish this up because we've been talking for 43 minutes now. Um, What is something that you've either, and maybe you've already said it, but what's something you've read, listened to, or watched lately that you'd love to share with our audience? Doesn't have to be business, it could be anything.
Okay. Well, I guess the books,
or it
you
could
know,
be
I'm reading the
business.
4 Hour Work Week. I already plugged that.
Yep.
Before that, I finished a really incredible book called Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. She
Oh
wrote
yeah,
Eat,
Elizabeth
Pray,
Gilbert.
Love. Yeah. That book was incredible, and it's all about how we are all creative beings, and there aren't people who are more creative than other people. We've just learned how to tap into our creativity, and I think
Yeah.
that's like really important because I see so many people have such like low self confidence because they've convinced themselves that they're not creative, they're not artistic, and you know, creativity is at the foundation of like our self esteem and self confidence, and that's a huge, I think, problem today, especially with technology and everything. People aren't like exploring their creativity like they used to. So I
Yep.
like really that book is for everyone. Like anyone listening, I would go read that book because I got a lot out of it, and it was definitely like not like life changing, but I think about that book every day now.
Cool.
Yeah.
I've had quite a few people tell me they really love that one. I haven't read it yet, but I know it falls in the same vein as like The Artist's Way, which is like the 70s version of that book,
Oh, okay.
basically.
I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think you need to read it. Like, if you read Big Magic, it's same idea, just
Yeah,
repackaged a little differently.
yeah.
But yeah, she's great. She had a good podcast around that same topic as well.
Oh, okay. See, I'm out of the loop with the podcast, so I would definitely listen to
Yeah,
hers.
doesn't matter. I mean, it's the same thing. She just answers people's questions, and then she calls like a famous person that she knows and and like talks about it with them. It's kind of funny.
Oh, okay,
Um,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess the last thing I'd love to know is, do you, because you live in this world, is there anyone that you think would be like really amazing for this show that I could talk to next?
Oh, yeah.
I'm always like, yeah, who do you have in your
Okay,
I don't know,
so
Rolodex?
there's a couple TikTokers, and we all talk and collaborate with each other. And all of these
Oh,
people, I
cool.
admire them so much for what they do. So if I were to throw some names out, one would
Yeah,
be my friend Adrian Brambila. He's famous for making over like 100K a month from affiliate marketing, and his
cool.
TikTok's incredible. He lives in a van. His story is really cool. He used to be a pro dancer,
I
so
love this.
he's
Okay,
great.
great.
He's amazing. My friend Sandy Lynn, her TikTok name is Small Business Tips. She's only
Okay,
22, and she's like such a baller entrepreneur. Her internet presence is amazing. I just had a call with her yesterday. Um,
cool.
she's she's incredible. And then the last one would be Jessica Hawks. Her name is. She's got like 600K TikTok followers, and her whole thing is she was a VA, and her VA business blew up so fast. She's only like 24 that she now manages like a whole firm of VAs and is a six-figure
Wow.
earner and totally helps people explore becoming VAs, and her stuff's incredible. So I would plug those.
That's like the direction that you're headed in, I feel like
Yeah, for
too.
sure.
Yeah.
No, but like those three are great.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
yeah,
You're amazing. Is there any like final words that you'd want to share with the
yeah.
audience, or like encouragement, advice, anything?
Yeah,
What do you got?
I'm trying to dive more into my like Tony Robbins side here. I always say to people when I like sign off from things, I'm always like, yeah, this is like cliche, but I mean, don't let people's past criticisms and things they've said of you like stop you from doing your own thing. I truly believe we all have divine purposes. I think we all have multiple. So if you think you
Yeah,
only need to be like one thing for the rest of your life, that's false. And stop listening to what people expect of you. You're the only one living your life. And my story could not be more of a testament to that. You know, I left everything that I thought was stable, and I'm happier than ever for it. So,
beautiful. Thank you so much, Alex. I'm gonna
thanks,
stop it
Bill.
right there.